The time has come for lions to tell I own story. Yes, you're listening to Lion's Voice. I is Dejazmatch hailing from the island of St. Croix. Yeah, I'm bringing to you Rastafari vibes. Can you feel it? Rastafari. Babylon born when Rasta come together. Can you feel it? Rastafari, because Babylon done when I and I come together. Look how we live together, look how we work together, Oh, Babylon done when Rasta come together. Haile, Rastafari, His Majesty and Impressment and blessed. Yeah man, hailing from St. Croix, Rastafari, I hear you. Love, aye.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
Yeah, man. Greetings, Rastafari, Hail Emperor, the King Selassie, the first, the perfect balance, Empress Menin. This is first man from Rastafari Indigenous Village, recognizing, accepting, promoting Lion Voice. Yes, the voice of Rastafari, speaking about Rastafari, educating Rastafari, preserving, protecting Rastafari. Give thanks.
Aye, yes, Rastafari, mighty.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega, representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, ya. Them fully guard up and them quick fi execute, ya. Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, ya. The one will laugh, I'm same one of the shooter. Watching them, this is Rasta Jai representing for the Lion Voice Network. This is the time when the lion gets to tell our own story. Haile Selassie.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Greetings, this is Shiloh. The time has come for the lions to tell their own story. See? This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir? Shiloh said that. Are you satisfied? Wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm all alone, still you thought I was telling a lie. This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir?
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.
Dano, I'm so hungry, bro. I haven't eaten all day. Like, my head start to hurt me too. Like, what now could I eat right now?
What about a city samosa? Get your samosa, a fusion of Indian, Jamaican, and African culture. City samosas, the best samosas in the city.
Them could never conquer the mountains. Thousands of years and counting. Ethiopia rise again unto the world. Now we are announcing. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Rastafari crown as the prince of peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. Well, solar energy that them a see. The whole city powered by the sun's energy. The road them make out of hemp and concrete. Neighborhoods full of fruit trees that taste sweet. The youths put down them guns, them harvest and a reap. The beautiful gardens will line every street. Tired of the bloodshed, them done with the beef. Not even animals for that, them burn out the meat. Where people say Haile Selassie, I see Nile. When they see say him a treat the dirt like a child. Peace on earth from the banks of the Nile. That's why we giving thanks in style. See say Babylon a weapon, them a stockpile. Babylon a wicked, kill them brother and smile. Lion, Babylon a reptile. Them a plant fish, shed blood, we got plans for the soil. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Rastafari crown as the prince of peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. No more gullies, proper sanitation. Proper toilets with proper filtration. Clean water for the youths them fi use. Our sons and daughters safe, no more child abuse. Africa arise, read it in the news. On the day when Rastafari ready, wicked have fi move. 3D printing alongside hem shoes. Herb get legalized, hard drugs them get refused. Well, people used to say they bring him man senile. True himself he tried it with man, woman and child. Himself peace on earth from the banks of the Nile. That's why we give him thanks in.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of his chosen queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bonsu, aka DejazmatchKwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Voice Live. Welcome to Lion Voice Network and welcome to the Lion Voice live show, where the Lions are telling our own story. Blessings to everyone. We are coming here after an epic Wednesday episode featuring Dr. Kadamawi Knife, featuring Ras Zola of the African Food Basket, doing a preliminary recap of the Rastafari International Conference that took place in Canada. And we're going to do a full recap. We're going to have Sister Masani on, the organizer, to do a full recap. We have exclusive footage. We're going to do an episode where we show some of the highlights, give some of the vibe of the Rastafari conference. I'm just asking the audience, be patient with us, because we have a lot. I am the principal editor right now, along with all the other responsibilities, so it takes a while to process everything and put it forward. So patient, but we are fully loaded, and we have a lot of great content, and some more surprises are coming before the end of the year. So stay tuned. Tonight, we're going to return to something that we have not touched in some time. We're going to talk to our brethren then. We have launched a series here called the Rastafari Man Standard, where we talk to young brethren, because we want to shape the Rastafari man of the future. 75% of the audience of this channel is male, and a lot of the demographics are younger. So we want to make sure that we are shaping the next generation. We want to make sure the generation that's coming doesn't make some of the same mistakes that our generation made or the generation before us made. And so we launched the Rastafari Man Standard. Today, because it's Pan-African History Month, because we're highlighting great Pan-African leaders, and we're going to end the month with a bang. I have two great episodes to launch before the end of the month. We have the daughter of Leonard Howell, who grew up part of her life at Pinnacle. We're going to hear from her. We also have the son of Captain Yifudu, Ethiopian, who was sent by His Majesty to put together and do the diplomacy that brought together the OAU. So we have his son. He wrote a book about his father and the formation of the OAU and some of the other works. Ethiopia, advocating for China in the United Nations. So we're going to interview his son, or we have interviewed his son, and that episode is going to go up shortly on the channel. So we have Wooly coming, but today we want to talk about the Pan-African Man Standard. This is a channel not just for Rastafari, but for Pan-Africans. And I want to talk about the standard, the masculine Pan-African man, because if we do not cultivate, what Babylon is trying to feminize, emasculate the male image, because strong brethren mean that there's potential for resistance. So we want to talk about what we need to do. I'm going to do 5 essential traits of a masculine Pan-African man. So we're going to do 5 essential traits of a masculine Pan-African man. I've been talking to the sistren, them, not just in Rastafari, but Pan-African sistren too. They're complaining that they can't find brethren to deal with them that, live up to a standard. And we have a lot of brethren who grew up in single-parent households, no man in the house. So we are finding that there is a lack of reasoning that's happening between brethren who are maybe my age and older and the younger brethren coming up. So today I want to reason with my young brethren, share some wisdom and knowledge and understanding so that they can, cultivate that masculine energy within themselves and become strong Pan-African. And this is not just for Rastafari male. We have the Rastafari Man Standard, so you can go forward and look at those episodes. And we're going to do more. One of my sisters called me and told her, that she's disappointed how she don't see more Rastafari Man Standard, because the brethren that she's meeting, them not giving that lion energy, you know what I mean? And we don't raise any dogs around here, you know, no puppy or no dogs. So we want to ensure that we are putting out the message, putting out the knowledge, and don't take for granted that brethren are getting these sounds about what makes a masculine Pan-African man, what makes a masculine man, period. You know what I mean? And there are certain responsibilities. There are certain benefits, but there are certain responsibilities. A masculine man is not just about demanding submission from a woman and you think that's it. No, masculine men have role to play in the society. The African man, traditionally, you go across all tribes, all traditions, cultivated masculine men, warrior, traditions. I am actually just went to a rites of passage orientation today, interest meeting. My daughter went through a Pan-African rites of passage program. My son is getting ready to go through. And these were all parts. You don't just become a man. There's a process. And then you are conferred that status by your village. And we have lost that because the Western European system is very individualistic. You know what I mean? Very individualistic. And the emphasis in the West is on the individual. So you don't talk about the village, you don't talk about the community, you don't talk about the nation. It's every man for himself. It's we're chasing that bag. We're trying to get that money. We want to get the bag. That's what Western culture is about, that bag culture. Everything is about the money and the material things. And we want to cultivate young people who are truly community focused. African is community. You know, we live by the principle of Ubuntu. I am because we are. There's no individual African identity outside. And that has been weaponized against us in the form of tribalism. So we see we are very susceptible to tribal differences and cliques and those things as Africans because we easily, it's so natural for us to form that communal identity that it can be weaponized against us where we just devolve into tribalism. That's the terrible side of it. The great side of it is the community, the unity, the oneness of purpose. So today we're talking about 5 essential traits in a masculine Pan-African man. And I want to sister them in the comments. I know most ones will watch this on the replay. I want the sister them in the comments tell me if this is an attractive, if the traits that I'm saying are attractive, sister, let I know so that the brethren who watch the video can see, say, we're not just talking, you know what I mean? And if I miss anything, sister, in the comments, let us know in the comments if we miss anything as well. But I want to make sure, brethren, and other brethren who are my age and elders, also feel free in the comments section to chime in with your thoughts. I want to just big up the community that we're building here. Tomorrow, we are having our August town hall meeting every month. If you're new here, if this is your first time watching, I'm just the front person for the Lion Voice Network. The Lion Voice Network is powered by Lion Pride on Patreon. And we are now 40 people strong in the Lion Pride on Patreon. And we have monthly meetings to determine, what the direction, the content, the topics. We're going to be starting when we hit 50 people in the Patreon. We're going to be starting to give monthly grants to different workers, modest grants to start in the Rastafari community, and giving them some highlight. But we're building a virtual village community that is going to be a force for change in Rastafari. We're not just here to feel good about ourselves. Yes, we're about to hit 50,000 subscribers in the Lion Pride, and that is a great achievement for any platform. We took 3 years to do it, and we're grateful. But as the item know, most of those 50 are casual. and there's still lion pride. We still love them, but there are levels to everything. And we want to build an action core that, we're able to sponsor events, cover them, share the footage with the global family, and really create a platform that creates that unity, that central focus that Rastafari is lacking, because we have so much divergence in doctrine. Again, that tribalism, even within Rastafari, can strike, and we're competing, we're fighting each other over foolishness, and we lose sight of the overall mission, and we forget that we agree on 95% of everything else, and we spend all of our time warring over a 5%. And we don't have no school, we don't have no health centers, we don't have any physical infrastructure. We have very few, if any, full-time Rastafari institutions that are serving a community. And this is as a result of us not having that central focus, that central narrative. And I believe that this is part of the role of Rastafari independent non-aligned media. So I rose to the occasion. I was called by His Imperial Majesty to do this work, and I'm going to continue to fulfill my mission dutifully, because I feel there's no one else that can do it quite like I am doing it. And I couldn't do it without the Lion Pride on Patreon. So big up all of the Lion Pride on Patreon. Big up our Ubuntu Lion Pride as well. The Ubuntu Lion Pride, we're now 13 members strong. We have one space remaining on the first page. We're going to have to go to a second page. We're 13 members strong. I want to welcome Johnny Johnson, our elder, 70 years old. Johnny Johnson just joined. We just actually interviewed Johnny Johnson, so stay tuned. That interview is going to come up. He's one of our active Lion Pride in the comments. If you know the platform and you've been in the comments, you probably read a comment from Johnny Johnson, one of our great elders. And he gave me a new term, which is foundational African American. They have the foundational Black American. Johnny Johnson, born and raised in America. His family traces their roots to Alabama and to an illegal slave ship that docked on the ports of Alabama. We have his story coming up. But Johnny Johnson is now a part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. Shahid Cowan, I've never met the brethren, but the brethren supports the platform. He's also a part of our Lion Pride on Patreon. But he also now has joined the Ubuntu Lion Pride. How do you join the Ubuntu Lion Pride? It's any contribution over 100 US gets you, and this is immortalized. So as long as this channel is running, your name will be here at the Ubuntu now. Lion Pride on Patreon, people come in and they fall out because it's a monthly subscription. So we put up the Lion Pride on Patreon, but if something happens, you're not able, yes, you'll be immortalized on those videos that it was shown. But in terms of the Ubuntu, they are immortalized on every episode. And we are also planning to build a physical space on the continent, in Ghana. And when we do, there will be a wall, a tribute, some type of tribute to the Ubuntu Lion Pride. So we do plan on making this a physical tribute memorial at some point. So if you want to be a part of the history of Rastafari independent media, then join the Ubuntu Lion Pride. And remember, what we're doing has never been done. We do not have a robust media apparatus that can show up with camera crew and team and staff. That's what we're building here. So I'm just, again, I was called, and because of the tools that we have, YouTube, we have all of these technology tools, I can build this enterprise from my house. If I had to go out on the road and do all of the work with a full-time job, with family responsibilities, with my non-profit work, all of that, this would not be possible. So what I'm doing now is only possible in this hour on earth, this age of Aquarius, this time where literally, we have the tools to make manifest any thought that we have. And my vision is a robust multimedia Rastafari platform, where we have blockbuster films, animation, documentaries, all from a Rastafari worldview. News broadcasts, the whole works. That's why we have multiple shows on the network. We want to have a whole suite of shows and different types of shows. We're talking to some other content creators, so you might see some other faces on the channel shortly as well as we expand and we grow. So look out. We're really serious about growing. Tomorrow at the town hall meeting, we're going to be talking about the September channel guests, the channel topics. We're going to talk about the Rastafari Works grant program, where we're going to be giving a modest grant to workers and causes within Rastafari every month, and we'll highlight those people with an interview. We do our networking all of the time. And then we're going to start bringing some special special guests on our town hall meeting. So I'm going to invite people from the network to talk about different topics. A lot of the ones are interested in content creation, really and truly. Let me be honest with the item. If you have a product or service, you have to be a content creator in this modern era. If you're not, you're leaving so much opportunities and money on the table. So this whole concept of a local business where you just go open a storefront or you're just a vendor, that's outdated. We have the internet. We can sell to the planet. So you really have to become a content creator, and we are all about providing tools to the Lion Pride on Patreon. I do creative consultations. I have all kind of clients that come for the creative consultations, how to structure your ecosystem. And that's really what you're seeing us build in front of your faces, is a creative ecosystem. So we're all about that. So I'm just letting the item know that we're building the plane while it's flying, and the item are part of this history. So I want to big up everyone who's a part of the history. It's not too late to join the Patreon and join us tomorrow in the town hall meeting. Again, you never know who will show up there. You can also join the Patreon for free, and you can get you can look at the old town hall meetings. They're available for all of our free Patreon members, so we don't leave you out. And make sure if you're a real Lion Pride, we should have your email address, because YouTube can kick us off anytime we say something with Bonafire. YouTube can kick us off, IG can kick us off, all of these other platforms. So if you really are serious, go to our website and subscribe, so you get our newsletter, so we can have that relationship off the platform. Or you can go to our Patreon and become a free member. We'll get your email, and we can build that way. Big up yourself, Freeway Dread. Big up yourself, Ras Roots. Two of our Lion Pride on Patreon family, who never leave I and I out. I couldn't do this. I couldn't come on, and sometime you see there's not a lot of interest. Right now we have 5 people watching live. Big up on yourself. A lot of people would be discouraged, but as a content creator, you have to work through the times when you're building. People come after, but if you do not be consistent, you don't put out the product, you don't put out the effort, it's never going to happen. So you got to be consistent, you got to work. And that is one of the things that we're going to talk about today. Today's topic is the Pan-African man standard, confidence through competence. That is the tagline, confidence through competence. We want to raise confident black man. We want to raise confident brethren who shift the energy in a room. Big up the young man I reasoned with in Toronto at the Rasta International Conference. One of the volunteers, a young brethren, he identifies himself as Rastafari. He's 25 years old, young brethren. And we were reasoning the whole period of the conference. He was also the MC at Rastafest. And I was just soaking up. He was soaking up the wisdom and the knowledge we were giving him, and he's helped to inspire. I'm gonna be helping the young brother on his path, because I wish I had someone who did that for I explicitly. Now, I had elders that I sat at their feet and I moved, but in terms of someone who is intentionally just focusing on cultivating that Jegna irids, you know what I mean? I think we have to be more intentional, because the youth of today have more distractions than we had. So today, 5 essential traits of a Pan-African man, a masculine. I gotta put that in there, masculine, because you have some man who are Pan-African, but them dep on a whole different side of the whole fullness, and we're not too mixed with them ones there, none at all. You understand? So we're talking about masculine Pan-African man, you know what I mean? Because we need that warrior class to uplift this Pan-African nation. And big up to the AES, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali. Chad is also making moves to work closely with the AES. They are pledging 5% of their GDP to their development bank. They're rejecting World Bank, IMF, and they created their own development bank, and they've now allocated 5% of their budget. So this is how we know that these brethren are serious. They've also handed a blow, a military blow to the Boko Haram and the jihadists that have been sponsored by external forces to destabilize the region. So these brethren are withstanding the test of time, and they're doing some powerful work. So as this Pan-African spirit is spreading across the continent, it's our job as media to really help to cultivate what is the masculine Pan-African man. So we're going to start. Number one is that a Pan-African, masculine Pan-African man has to be a spiritual and cultural steward. All right? A spiritual and cultural steward. You know what I mean? A traditionally masculine Pan-African man is a steward of his cultural heritage and spiritual traditions. He is expected to uphold the values and the customs of his ancestors and pass them on to the next generation. This involves participating in rituals, rites, respecting your elders, maintaining a connection to the spiritual world. This entitles leadership and continuity in terms of strength and culture. So a spiritual, so that doesn't matter if you are Ifa, you're Yoruba, you're Rastafari, you're Islam, you're Orthodox Christian, whatever it is, a masculine man, you are responsible for upholding those spiritual traditions. You're responsible for knowing how to conduct the rituals. So sometimes, when I chatted up, I was trained as a Nyabingi man, and when I chatted up in those early days, this is the early 2000s, late 90s, we learned every man is a prophet, every man is a priest, every man is a king, every man has to learn all facets. So every man have to learn that preceptical order. The man is the first priest. You're the priest of your home, meaning that every home has to have a spiritual practice. Every man's supposed to govern their home now. Sometimes we fail at this. Sometimes we don't do as much as we should. But this is what we have to cultivate, because no one is coming to save us. There's no one else's responsibility but I and I to establish the spiritual practices and learn, not just come to Nyabingi and you stand up there and you're going to Nyabingi for 10 years and you don't know the fire key, you don't know none of the psalms them, you don't know, you know what I mean? That means that if your brethren can't come or your brethren leave, the whole thing popped down because you didn't take the time to learn and administrate. So every man must be a spiritual custodian. This is number one as a Pan-African man, spiritual and cultural steward. So the traditions, the cultural traditions, big up Muta Baruka. Muta Baruka was featured at the Rasta Fest and he was burning some hot fire, you know what I mean? Because he was talking about the dress code of the sistren and even some of the brethren, you know what I mean? You know, a lot of ones dressing, but he's saying this is part of our culture. How you dress is a statement as to your values and as to how you're moving through the earth, the vibration that you're carrying. So you can't be a masculine Pan-African man and your pants are drop off of your waist, your brief are show, you have tight pants on, you're moving around. That don't make no sense, you know what I mean? I'm not a fan of the whole heap of tattoos and all of these things, you know what I mean? I think body is the temple, the good is the temple. As Rastafari, I need to uphold that. Now, different Pan-African traditions, they may have the scarring, they may have different things, but as a man, Pan-African man, you're responsible for administrating these traditions, ensuring that they transmit from generation to generation. Yes, the women are the first teachers, but the men are the protectors of the tradition. Your son is not going to do what you say. Your son is going to do what you do. I find myself as a copy of my father. Enough things as a youth, I used to watch my father and think I would never do, you know, or be like that. I end up doing. So it's not what you say to your children that is going to stick more than how you live. They're watching you. So we have to be a cultural steward and spiritual steward of our home. So that's number one, of being a masculine Pan-African male. All right, so let me go to number two. Number two is the communal responsibility and leadership. A man's identity is deeply intertwined with his role in the community. Masculinity is not individualistic pursuit, but is defined by the man's ability to contribute to the well-being of his family, his clan, community, and this includes providing for and protecting that community, making sound decisions, acting with honor and integrity. A true man is a leader who works for the collective good, not just his own benefit. So this is number two, is that collective responsibility, you know, communal responsibility and leadership. Ras means head. You know, if you know, Ras means head. And, you know, I joke with my sister and them from the Blue Fire because they use the title Rases. I'm not a fan of the title Rases because Ras means head. There can only be one head to I. But the item notice, even though we disagree on that, we don't make it be a matter of contention where I have up the sister and them. I love my sister and them. Anything they do, I'm gonna help to strengthen once I see it's positive. We might disagree, but there's only very small things that we disagree on. But as a brethren, you know, you call yourself a Ras or people call you a Ras, that means you're the head. That means you cannot be dealing with just the small paraframe of going for the bag. You know, this modern culture is all about me. I'm going for the bag. And as a Pan-African, that means that whether you're Black American, foundational African American, whether you're Caribbean, whether you're from Europe, UK, whether you're from continental Africa, Caribbean, whatever, as a Pan-African, we're responsible for the whole community. We have to look out. That means that when I see an elderly woman in need, if I can give her strength, I'm going to give her strength. If I see anyone out there I look at them as my brothers and my sisters, and I have to act accordingly. So being a man, a masculine man, is not for self. Masculine man is not a selfish man. Very key. So number one is the spiritual and cultural steward. Number two is the community responsibility and leadership. So as a masculine man, don't be waiting for the sister them to tell you what to do. You're supposed to lead as a brethren. And no matter how the sister tell you that they don't mind to lead and they will lead, they want to see a man that lead. They're attracted to a man that lead. These are the things. And if you let your sister lead you, I'm gonna tell you that that spark, that fire where you like, even in the bedroom, it's going out, because when the sister them put on that masculine trait of leadership, something happens to them, and typically they're not gonna. Now they might look at the next man that's more masculine and have that desire, but for the eye, who's letting the sister lead the eye, I'm telling you, it's a trap and a trick, and you're gonna face some Sahara Desert conditions if you don't man up yourself and put on that leadership and have a vision. And this is why, if you look at my old videos, I always say, if you're a man, you have to have a plan. You cannot be a man and not have a plan. If you are, no matter how grown you are, if you're grown, you're still a boy. Only boys, children can go through life with no plan. If you're a man, you have to have a plan. That doesn't mean that the plan might not change, family. I'm not saying that the plan might not change, but you can't be out here talking to sister and you don't have no plan as a Pan-African man. Have something. I'm going to start a car wash. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do this. And you know what I mean? Repatriation should be in your plan as a Pan-African. I'm going to do something on the continent, even if you maintain your, operation here. But you have to have some type of, you know what I mean, fullness, you know what I mean? Let me see here. We have a comment. Ras means head in the anatomical sense as the head of the body. The second meaning is in regard to the title, which is the equivalent of Duke Prince. That is correct. So all of those things that there I say equate to leadership. So as a Pan-African man, we deal with leadership. And again, if you don't have a plan, this is not to condemn you and to say that you're going down into hell and all of these things. This is to just sharpen you up. You need to take some time, take a strong, and if you don't have a plan, it's a good time to fast. When you fast, you get that clarity of mind, do a juice fast and pray and come up with a plan. Write it down. You have AI now. You can literally just put it into AI, come up with a 5-year plan for XYZ. I want to accomplish this, lay it out. And the AI are going to give you a plan and you can edit it and fullness. This is how we use the tools. This is why I say the age of Aquarius, the age of knowing, as my brethren Kadamawi Knife said, we have no excuse not to manifest the thoughts, our thoughts and our purpose. And I say purpose over pum pum. So as a masculine Pan-African man, spiritual and cultural steward, number one. Number two, community leadership and responsibility. What does that mean? That means that before you chasing skirts, you want to deal with the woman, you're going to come up with your plan. You're going to monetize your plan. Your plan should be in line with your purpose. Your purpose should reflect your unique abilities. Whatever you would do without being paid for. Find a way, and that makes the world a better place. Find a way to monetize that and lean into that. Now, while you're doing that, and we're going to talk about this shortly, you always need to have an income as a man. And we're going to talk about that next, which is number three, being a provider and a protector. This is a controversial one because in modern time, things change. A lot of brethren, a lot of sistren are earning more than brethren because sistren can go into a corporate setting. Sistren can earn without that controversy. A lot of brethren, especially Pan-African brethren, don't want no other man telling them what to do. And so they are entrepreneurs, and entrepreneur thing can go up and down. Sometimes it's a harvest, and sometimes you're in a drought. And so you're with a sistren. Sometimes the sistren income is more steady, so it ends up having to pay the bills, and you're there, with your passion. So this is something that I want to spend a little bit of time on. But number 3 is provider and protector. And we say that this is the ability to provide for one's family and protect them, which is central pillar of traditional masculinity. This role is tied to a man's honor and respect within the community. It involves not only securing material resources, but also ensuring the safety and security of his family and his lineage. This responsibility is a key marker of a man's transition into adulthood and fundamental to his social standing. And no matter what Babylon tell you, this will never change from now until the world end, my brothers and sisters. The expectation as a man is that you will provide and protect and do your best to ensure, and this is why I say purpose over pum pum, because before you find the queen, identify the purpose, monetize the purpose, so that you are able to bring someone into your palace. Bring a queen. You can find a queen. The queen comes in and she's able to scale and take your thing to, a different level. Every business I've done, my queen has been there now. I met my queen in high school, so it's a little bit different. Before I even had the knowledge of Rastafari, I was trying with my queen. Now we separated, and I sight up far and go forward and go for the queen. And we've been together, over 20 years consistently. We've been married over 18 years. My thing is a little bit different. And I give His Majesty thanks that my queen is involved with every business I do. She's a producer of this network. If you get an email from the Lion Voice Network, if you see the newsletter, all of that is my queen works. I couldn't do all of that, the professional, responses and these things. That's the queen. So the queen comes in to plus what you're doing, and should be passionate. And my queen loves creative industry works, and she's a creative herself. So to her, it's not like work, and that's how ideally it should be. Now, again, I didn't have the foresight to vet in that way, but I did it intuitively, naturally. And because she's my queen, this is how it worked out. But for a brethren, I don't want you to minimize this economic, because a lot of time, let me show you how it shows up in Rastafari. And I'm a part of the Pan-African community here in the DMV as well, so I know about the Pan-African community. I grew up in a Pan-African house. We know about the Pan-African community. The Pan-African, in the Rastafari community, you have a lot of lazy men who hide and use the term irates for excuse laziness. And iris just mean me do what me feel like. If I feel like waking up at 12 o'clock because I was up late smoking chalice and reasoning, then I'm going to do that. And what we find out, as we become adults in the church, and you have children and you have responsibilities, is that's foolishness. You cannot live that way because you have responsibilities. So if you can only smoke one load of chalice and then you have to move and you have to go get some rest so you can get up early in the morning and do what you have to do to make sure that you're reliable. You hear that? Dependable. And everyone have to read His Majesty's speech to the University College of Addis Ababa. In the selected speeches, his speech on leadership. That was the focus of the ARC's virtual summer camp this year, which was a resounding success. We're going to bring on the counselors of the ARC virtual summer camp. Next year is going to be even bigger and better. We doubled the revenue from the first year this year. So, great success. And we did the speech on leadership because, again, cultivating this leadership is key. But as a brethren, you have to be responsible and you must have a work, you know what I mean? And sometimes you say, boy, I'm not work for Babylon. And His Majesty not pleased if you're just at home and you're not earning. So what I tell brethren, even if you have to work in an undesirable place for some time just to get a paycheck, the sin comes, the Almighty is not going to condemn you for that, you know what I mean? The sin comes if you go and work at that place and then you become complacent and then 20 years you still at work for that place, and you're not actively working on manifesting your purpose, actively working to build your own. But that job, that Babylon job that because you have to go in there, your boss is a person who deal with you a certain way, you're a Ras, you don't trim up your biceps, so people are by a certain way. But you have to go through these things if you don't have any other option. If your entrepreneur is not bringing in the money, make sure you're bringing in some income, particularly if you already have a sister or if you have youths, you know what I mean? Because a masculine man goes out there and find it. And we don't advocate scamming. I put a fire upon a scammer. You can't come to me with a scamming argument. You know what I mean? You can't tell me, say that's reparation if you're a thief. You know what I mean? I burn scammer to ash. When you talk about hustling, you have to be righteous hustling. And traditionally, as races, a lot of races were in the ganja hustling, and even now that's freeing up. We're seeing transition to more legal means, and certain battles are being fought. But that I wouldn't, even though that traditionally was against the law, it's still righteous because the herb was the healing of the nation. Rastafari kept the knowledge of the plant alive in perilous times. So I don't include that, but there should be no illegal. So I'm not telling you to go sell crack. Like back in the 90s, you had the 5% nation who were righteous, but enough of the man them used to sell crack in New York and different things. And you heard it in the rap songs back in the day, even though these were supposed to be righteous, the gods and the earths, but enough of the man them who were subscribing. So I don't support that. But the principle of earning, making sure you're earning income is crucial. If you have to work at a fast food restaurant, God forbid, the Almighty forbid, born God, but the Almighty forbid that you have to work for a fast food. I would say that is even better than sitting at home and I eat out your queen food out of the fridge, and I eat off the youth them snacks a daytime, and you're not bringing no earnings. You know what I mean? Even working at a fast food restaurant, my brother. You know what I mean? Again, the sin comes if you don't have a plan to leave there after a certain time. You don't max out your thing, you don't discipline. Because if you are working these low earning jobs, you have to have that monastic discipline where you're not spending, you're saving up, you're investing, you're doing something to transition out of that as fast as possible. But make sure as a man that you're a provider, you're protecting, and that you are serious. So number one, and if you're just joining us, we're doing 5 essential traits of a masculine Pan-African man. Today we're talking about the Pan-African man standard. This is Pan-African History Month. We don't just want to talk about the Meneleks and the Marcus Garveys and the great Pan-Africans that came before us. We want to cultivate future Pan-Africanists to carry this, because we need great man to rise again in the earth. So we have to talk about these things to ensure that, brethren, we're destroying some of the mythology, some of the false concepts that have crept in, not just Rastafari, but the Pan-African. Because I know a lot of Pan-African brethren who also burn Babylon, so they don't want to work in the system, but they're not earning, they're not doing anything. They're doing little hustling that's not working, and then they're reasoning, they're philosophizing, they're arguing with people about doctrine. And when you look, they're not earning nothing, they're not bringing home, they're not stacking their coins to be able to build and protect a family and sustain a family. And then what happens is, ultimately, you find a sistren, you and the sistren come together, you have youths, and because the finance is not good, the stress is there, you end up, the family mash up, the sistren break up, and now we have another broken home. Now we have Pan-African youths, Rastafari youths without two parents in the home, and the cycle continues. So economics, don't make nobody tell you that economics is not important in terms of, and there's no shame in earning, no matter what, as long as it's legal, righteousness, there's no shame. It's, again, better to work at a fast food restaurant than to sit down on a couch with your foot them cock up, and then I argue online and I tell people about Akebula and Kemet and Kush and all kind of thing, and use the most knowledgeable, but you can't bring in a dollar, you can't pay a mortgage, you can't pay no rent. I don't support that, and that is not a masculine man. A masculine man, again, he goes out there, he's a hunter, you know what I mean? He's a warrior. He's gonna go out there, he's gonna find it for his family. So we have number one trait of a masculine man, spiritual and cultural steward. The number two trait of a masculine man is communal responsibility and leadership. Number three is provider and protector. Number four is having wisdom and emotional intelligence. So making sure that you're always building your wisdom and your emotional intelligence. Women are attracted to men that can teach them something. Women who are watching this, all my sistren, tell me if I lie, me I tell in the comments. A woman wants a man that can teach her something. This is what gets her aroused, is a man that's confident, who can teach her something. And remember, the tagline is confidence through competence. The more you are competent, the more that you can execute, you can do things, the more confident you are about your ability, the more you will carry yourself in a confident manner. Part of that confidence is making sure that you are always leveling up your knowledge and your skills, whether that be entering classes, whether that be just reading books. And most brethren are good on this point. Being Pan-African means you read more than the average person, average black person or average person. Being a Pan-African man mean that you know something. So most of us have that part. And the item, no, I am the reading ras. You see the logo, reading a book, physical book. I am the reading ras, and we do have the reading ras merch available on our website, so you can get your t-shirts, your mugs, all of the reading ras merchandise on the website. We are planning to do some redesigning and reissuing. We said the reading ras are go bigger than Air Jordan, sneakers, all them things that we have them planned. But reading, we want to make reading sexy again for the man them, and know say the woman them love a man that read and can teach them something, you know what I mean? But contrary to some Western stereotypes, traditional African masculinity emphasizes wisdom, self-control, and emotional intelligence. A man is expected to be a keen a man of logics and a consummate diplomat, capable of navigating social situation, He's not irrational, overly emotional, but rather composed and thoughtful, especially in the face of challenges. This is tied to being a man of repute who can be relied on for wise counsel. And it's not masculine to fly off the handle. A man step on your shoe and you want to kill him. This is a feminine male that would do such a thing because why? You're potentially throwing away your life for something that in the grand scope of things don't mean much. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to have logical wisdom, and these are things we typically learn from our fathers. Not to be over emotional, not to say that the sister them, but you know we know the sister them, Mother Earth, depending on the time of the month, especially. You know what I mean? That emotion is very passionate. You know what I mean? And when young men grow without their father, because for us as men, there are consequences. You know what I mean? We can't just talk to people anyway. There's always that threat of violence. When two brethren buck up and disagree, there's always a potential for violence. So we have to be very level-headed. We know as Rastafari, Haile Selassie is a diplomat, we say. So that diplomatic conduct is key in terms of being able to just take a deep breath, assess a situation, and most of the time it's better to walk away. Now, we should always train so that if someone try to harm your the eye or harm your family, you can be decisive and you can deal with the threat. But never are we the aggressor. You know, His Majesty went out of his way to show that Ethiopia was not the aggressor when it came on to the conflict with Italy. So we always try to take that diplomatic route, and that's a masculine trait. You know what I mean? A real man, the most dangerous man, them you would never know they're the nicest brethren, because they know that if they take it there are severe consequences. So that is the last resort. So we have to make sure that we are preaching that for our brethren, wise counsel, making sure you have that emotional intelligence. Also, being able to read a room. You know what I mean? Don't come in the place, everybody dip on a easy vibe and you load up the place and you know what I mean? Know how to read a room. Let me just share my tactics. You know, if I come into a space, I'm coming silent. I'm coming to listen. I might, you know, put in, but however, this is the exception. If I come into a space and the reasoning get loosey goosey, then I'm gonna talk up now because I see say this place lacking leadership. So if I come in the place and the man them dep on a loose argument, go up on the ends, and the man them, then I'm gonna come and I'm gonna shift. I'm gonna jump in the topic and I'm gonna shift it and elevate the reasoning so that the reasoning can go higher. So I'm not wasting my time, because I don't like being in spaces where the frequency is low, because when the frequency is low, anything can pop off. You know what I mean? And these are things from a spiritual, you know, we talked about the spiritual stewardship and custodian. These are the things that as an heretical being, as a fire angel, you have to know. And Pan-African man also deals with spirituality. When you come into a space, you know, always read the room. If the elevation is required, this is where your leadership comes in, where you now crack a joke. You know, you're not coming in to try to be preachy, and no, you crack a joke and you say, you know, say, you go to Rift Valley and down a Kemet and thing, and usually the man them are versatile. So when they see you open up something and it's interesting, the reasoning shift, and then we start climbing. You know what I mean? But if you come in a space and they might chat somebody's name or is just complaining, and that's the next thing. Complaining is not masculine. So if you're around people who complain all of the time, these are feminine characteristics. You're always complaining, there's no solution. These are very feminine, and as a brethren, it's your duty, again, elevate the reasoning so that I can be constructive and productive as masculine Pan-African males. So emotional intelligence also means knowing how to read the room. You know what I mean? Very key. Finally, the fifth thing is having courage and strength. Physical and moral courage is a fundamental trait of a Pan-African masculine man. Historically, this was demonstrated through roles like a warrior or a hunter, but it also translates to the bravery required to protect one's family and community from physical, spiritual, and social threats. This strength is not just physical, but also inner fortitude that allows a man to endure hardship and adversity with dignity. I just reasoned with one of my brethren who he had some health challenges. He was driving Uber, and because of the long hours of driving Uber, he had some circulation issues he had to deal with. And one of the things I shared with him is always as a brethren ensuring that we're putting ourselves through some physical rigor, exercise, training. That is part of the discipline, making sure you're physically strong as a brethren. I have a next brethren, I had to pull him one side because I saw his belly get big. I have to tell him, we have to deal with this, exercise, intermittent fasting, these things. So as a brethren, we're responsible to keep yourself physically fit, because you don't want to be with your queen or with your family and something happen and you don't have the physical ability to put up a defense. That look away, and it is a way. And if you look away, you're more likely to attract disrespect. We have a saying in the Caribbean, "Duppy no who for frightened," meaning that people know who to test. And if you don't look physically fit and imposing, you encourage the vagabonds out there to challenge your authority as you move through creation. So always keep that physicality about you as a brethren. And that courage, you have to be strong. These are things I teach my son. You can't free or women will leave you, and you even, and courage. Let me say this. Courage doesn't mean that there's no fear. Courage means that you confront your fear, and even though you may feel afraid, you still move. That's what bravery and courage looks like. Everyone who have a brain is gonna feel fear when danger is near. That's a natural thing that's there to preserve you, so you move away from danger. But the courage is confronting that when necessary to defend your family. So these are things that we need as a masculine Pan-African male. So those are five things as a masculine Pan-African male. I'm going to go through them one more time. Spiritual and cultural steward, number one. You have to be a spiritual and cultural steward, number one. Number two, you must have communal responsibility and leadership. Number three, you must be a provider and a protector. Number four, you must have wisdom and emotional intelligence. And number five, courage and strength. So these are the five essential traits of a masculine Pan-African man. This is the Pan-African man standard. We have the Rastafari man standard. This is the Pan-African man standard. We say confidence through competence. I am developing a course, the Purpose Over Pum Pum course, that is going to be available for our Patreon family. We have the first piece. If you're in the Patreon, you can look at the special Purpose Over Pum Pum video we did. We're talking about the aspects of finding purpose, and we are going to do what we can to ensure again that we're cultivating, that we're reaching forward to cultivate strong masculine brethren, because I have a daughter and I don't want a weak heart come talk to my daughter. I tell you the truth, you know what I mean? So we have to make sure that we are cultivating these strong brethren, the younger brethren. All right, so let's go to the comments and then we're gonna seal up for the day. Let's go and see who's in the comments. Any sounds, and big up everyone who's here live with us. Big up all of the family who will watch this on the replay. We're building. We're in our building phase, and this is part of it. Ross Roots Life, big up yourself. He's a Lion Pride on Patreon and an Ubuntu Lion Pride. He never leave I and I an inch. One of the reasons that we feel so confident doing this work is because of brethren like Ross Roots Life. Big up yourself, King. He says, yes, I give thanks to His Majesty's name, Emperor Haile Selassie. Glory to His Empress Meninas, for give thanks to the Lion's Voice Network and the Lion Pride. Blessed love, Haile I. Bless up Ross Roots. And Ross Roots is coming all the way out of Kentucky, USA, in the deep south. So big up yourself, Ross Roots, you know what I mean? Let me see who else is here. Freeway Dread, one of our trucker brethren, is here sending some lightning bolts. Big up yourself. Ross Roots, I say, yes, that's the kind of mentoring I and I looking for. So I and I can be a fit-minded, fit-bodied Rastafari man. And that's key, you know. And the best, you know, when you talk about fit body, the best, you want to be slim and strong. You know, you want to have that functional strength. You know, it's not, you don't want to be necessarily all huge and bulky. You want to be as flexible as you can, you know, slim, and strong, you know what I mean? So, and we might think I'm gonna actually bring in, we have one of our Lion Pride on Patreon who's a personal trainer, Palm J every day. Go to his platform and check him out. I'm gonna bring him on. We're gonna talk about building the physical. And I mean, I'm almost 50 years old, but you know, I can sprint up a hill. Me can do what I have to do. Me do my pull-ups there. Me do all of these things. You know what I mean? To maintain the six-pack and all these things, because I feel every rat should have a six-pack. Why not? If it's just work that it takes to get that, then why not make we deal with it? You know what I mean? Because having a strong core, everything moves through the core. So once you know that, why wouldn't we develop the core? So that's, and again, that's part of being a masculine man. Don't make your queen work hard, because she have work to do. Don't make it hard on her. You know what I mean? So it's very important. Would the I know of any grants from Master Herbalist Schooling? I don't know of any grants currently. I know that's the I passion, and I still need to link the I with Honorable Priest Kailash. So remind I'm gonna have to call the virgin. I sent a message. So we're doing that. And then what's some of the starting points and I could do for motivation of exercise? Start slowly walking, you know, just walk around your block, get up early morning as the sun rises, you know, the circadian rhythm. Just start with walking, you know, walk around, try to do a mile and 2 miles and then 3 miles and 4 miles. Just walking is the best way to start. And it's Irie as a Ras. And I'm going to load some pictures on my Patreon. I see all kind of nature when I go running, because I go run in the mornings. And, you know, I see snakes, I see deer, I see birds of all kinds, you know what I mean, when I go running in the morning. And I love it because I'm a wildlife, you know, I love wildlife. So that's the time that the wildlife is moving. So as a Ras, get up early, go walking, and then if you can start jogging, you know what I mean? That's a good start. The other thing I recommend is intermittent fasting. So after the sun goes down, don't eat any more food. You know what I mean? Once the sun go down, your eating should stop, and then you break your window. You know, I don't eat before 10 a.m. And I usually stop eating by like say 6 p.m. You know what I mean? That these two little things can change drastically. I think every man should be able to do 50 push-ups. I think there was a study that said that if you do 50 push-ups, you reduce your chance of heart attack by like 90%. It was some crazy number. Every man should be able to do 50 push-ups. And I don't mean stop. I mean 50 push-ups straight. So try to get yourself to do 50 push-ups, 10 pull-ups. You know what I mean? If you can do 10 pull-ups, 10 knee raises where you hang from the bar and you bring your knees to your chest. Them little things there, you know, get a pull-up bar. It's your best friend. I have one. It's your best friend. I use the one at the park. I don't even use the one. I use the one that I have in the winter time inside, and I go to the park in the summertime. And when you work out outside too, as a man, masculine man, take off your shirt, make the sun hit you, soak up the solar energy. You know what I mean? Very important, especially for I and I that don't live in the tropics and we don't go beach, we don't go river. When you're working out in the park in the early morning, take off your shirt, get a sweat, you know what I mean? Do your push-ups, do some things and thing, you know what I mean? And we have a couple personal trainers too. We might do some things in the Patreon if ones are interested. Let I know. But yeah, man, exercise is a key to being a masculine man. Man standard talks are the best. Yes, Freeway Dread, I love them. I love them. Yes, what is the I trainer name again? We have a few, you know, in the Patreon. We have Nick Nakes, who's a trainer. I think Coach Tommy, who I see in the comments. I think he's a personal trainer. Palm J, every day he's a personal trainer. And these are all people that you have access to in the Lion Pride on Patreon, so you can send them a message and link with them. And I think some of them do virtual training as well. So definitely, we have at least I think 3 trainers in the Patreon. So check them out. Prison Talk, real Prison Talk with Tommy. Greetings, brethren. Just checking in. Bless up yourself, Tommy. Are you a personal trainer? You do fitness training? Coach Tommy, let me know in the comments for Grassroots. But yeah, man, we have at least, I think, those 3 brethren in the Patreon that do training. So reach out to them and see if you can. All my training sessions I do online from the comfort of your home. So you see it there? Yes, I am. You see? So and Coach Tommy's in the Patreon. So Grassroots, you're in the Patreon. Connect with one of those brethren. Nick Nakes, Coach Tommy, Palm J every day. The 3 of them are personal trainers. So you know you have your pick of the litter. You can probably sample and see which one fits your style best. I think all of them do virtual training. So check that out. But I'm glad you say that, because we have a lot of overweight Rastafari brethren, and no disrespect to the item, but if we look at His Majesty, the posture, just look at the posture of when His Majesty sit down. This is where I try to emulate that, and trust me, it's a workout. Just sitting up straight, you know what I mean? Just sitting up straight, and try that too when you come into a room as a masculine Pan-African man. Just try to sit up, keep your back straight. Don't depend on things. Don't, you know, a lot of brethren, you see them like this. It's almost like you melt way, you know, your chair. You know what I mean? Don't melt way. Sit, hold, you know, your core. You know what I mean? Pulling your belly button to your spine when you sit up. You know, the Kundalini, like they say. someone holding a string and holding you up, and just try and see. That's how His Majesty seat up, and you're gonna feel that divine energy, that divine power, and you're gonna strengthen your core as well. So exercise is key to being a masculine man. And let us work together as Rastafari brethren so that when the world sees us, they see that fitness like the king, you know what I mean? And if you're overweight, there's no disrespect to the item. If you're a big belly Ras, let us work together to get that down, because it's not healthy. At the end of the day, regardless of the, you know what I mean, the aesthetic is just not healthy to have a gut. And a lot of that gut is undigested food, you know what I mean, or inflammation. So if we can reduce the inflammation in our goodies and we can get that undigested food out of our structure, then we're doing a great service and to the longevity of I&I, you know what I mean? Coach Tommy said, I know tattoos are not part of the tribe, but I am right now covered up in a wicked tattoo with the Lion of Judah. I just talked about that before you came in. I'm not an advocate of the tattoos, none at all. I been semi-active but overweight whole life, but the time is now. Yes, fireman. Yes, love that, grassroots. It's never too late. And again, just the one thing of the intermittent fasting, I guarantee that I go and drop some pounds. Once the sun go down, stop your eating right there. You know what I mean? Just drink water after sundown. And that alone, you're going to see a change in your body structure. And all of that undigested food, your body's going to start passing out when you give it time to rest. A lot of us eat late at night, and that's what mash us up too, you know what I mean? Because we're eating late at night, we're working, we're burning herb, we get the munchies and we start munch late at night, then we drop asleep. And that is what puts on a lot of pounds. So if you hold that discipline, sun go down, you stop eating, you're drinking water after the sun go down. When you get when you get hungry after the sun go down, just drink water, drink, and you're gonna see a massive difference. And then also every day, get up. First thing you do, just go out, walk. You know what I mean? Don't try to start with running because you're gonna discourage yourself. Just walk. Walk a mile, walk 2 miles, walk 3 miles till you can do like 3-4 miles. That's gonna start taking down. And the key is consistency. Consistency beats perfection every day, though strong. You know that's our philosophy here as a Rastafari man standard. Consistency beats perfection. So once you're consistent, you're going to see the results. And don't look for the results right away. And then again, work. Every man should be able to do push-ups, 50 push-ups straight. Every man should be able to do 10 pull-ups. You know what I mean? 10 knees to your chest, you know, hanging, knees to your chest. You know what I mean? Just work on them little small things and you're going to start seeing a transformation in your goodie. When I hit 40, I started to see a little gut. My mother was teasing I, and I just said, no, I can't, you know, because I was always naturally just slim. And then, you know, when you hit 40, something happens to a lot of us. And, you know what I mean, metabolism change. And gut was trying to creep in on me. And I said, no, I can't support no big belly life. So I had to get serious. Intermittent fasting has kept that, you know. So these are the things. So we're talking about 5 essential traits of a masculine man. I'm going to say it one more time. 5. We start with number 1, spiritual. Every man must be a spiritual and cultural steward. You know what I mean? Make sure every man, number 2, has to have communal responsibility and leadership. Number 3, every man must be a provider and a protector. Masculine man we're talking about now. We're not talking about the boogie dread them. You go a club and you shake up and down and them thing there, because you have some of them too. And we're talking about masculine man who dep on it. Number 4, wisdom and emotional intelligence. And number 5, courage and strength. So these are the 5 essential traits of a Pan-African masculine man. And these are what we are trying to cultivate to ensure that we have the leaders of tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow we have our town hall meeting for August. If you are part of the Patreon, we have just hit 40 people in the Patreon for the first time in 3 years. We have hit 40. 1% of 50,000 is 500, so we're way below where we should be. However, we celebrate our victories over here, and I recommend that to anyone who's on their purpose or on their pathway, no matter how the road rocky, we celebrate the little victory then, because when the Almighty see you grateful for the little victory, he's going to give you the big victory, because the Almighty love praises, you know what I mean? He want more eyes every day. So once you give him the eyes, give the Almighty the glory for the little victory them, you're going to see your blessings multiply. And having 40 people who contribute financially every month to the platform to I is a major victory. We're trying to get to 50. When we get to 50, we're going to start to vote, and we're going to give a small grant every month to a different Rastafari worker or a different cause, and we're going to interview that one, so that when we're interviewing ones, we can give them a little stipend, just something small to start, and then as the channel grows, that grant will grow. And soon we'll get, when we have 1 million subscribers and we have 10,000 in the Patreon, we'll be able to fund people's projects right there. That's bam, worker, how much you need, boom, you can, we can, and then in return we just ask that we can maybe film some footage, send a camera crew, go and film and highlight what they're doing, so we get the content and they get the money to actually do the work at a high level. So this is how we're thinking about Rastafari media as opposed to regular mainstream media. And if you want a concise description of what we're building, go and watch Wednesday's episode with Dr. Kadama with Knife, where he talks about social enterprise. The Lion Voice Network is a social enterprise that we're building, meaning that we're using the profits to further the Rastafari mission and vision. Yes, we want to make money for our family and to be able to hire our youths, because that's the first phase of the development of the platform, is so I can be full-time and I can be able to travel, go out into the field and cover things, meet people, build a network, even further, interview people, elders especially where they are, because a lot of elders don't have no smartphone, they're not coming on, so we're losing all of that knowledge and wisdom because nobody can go link these elders. So that's one of the first things that we want to be able to do with the Patreon resources. But again, we're going to be making grants, and I said, let's start small. We don't have to wait till we become huge to start, so people can see the vision of where we're moving with this. This is going to be a force for change in the movement. We're going to radically disrupt the stagnation that's currently taking place in both the Rastafari and Pan-African movement in the diaspora. And we're going to show a new model in terms of how media can be a force for positive change, you know what I mean? So join us. If this sounds like something you want to be an actionist, you want to come off of the fence. Also a message to my brethren and my sister in them. Big up Ras Griot, who just joined the Patreon, my long-time brethren, just joined the Patreon. Big up Rastafari, my long-time brethren, just joined the Patreon. These are long-time, so all of my long-time brethren and sisters, don't be shy. Come and join the Patreon. Make we do the work. Big up Sister Lisa, a white lady from the UK who became part of the Patreon. Again, we don't discriminate. Any race, creed, class can come on board We are a Rastafari platform, Pan-African platform, and we're about building the link between Rastafari and the Pan-African movement. But if you support that energy, you don't have to be of African descent. You can just love the energy and support. We welcome the idea. We welcome as family. We have several brethren and sisters of European descent in the Lion Pride and Patreon. We welcome them same way. If you're Japanese, Chinese, you come from Turkey, you come from. We have a big following in Libya. Wherever you are, feel free to come on board in the Lion Pride and Patreon. Just know that our focus will be Pan-African people of African descent, and we have ones who will launch platforms that will serve other communities, but our community is geared towards strengthening the roots of Rastafari, that Pan-African, that Garveyite, that James Webb, that Grover Redding energy, the blackness from them time there, Archibald Dunkley, Hibbert, them man there, you know what I mean? So we come in that vein. However, again, we welcome the global family because that is part of Rastafari, His Majesty. Welcome all nations to build Mount Zion in real life. So we are the servants of His Majesty. We believe in the teachings of His Majesty, and that's how we're moving forward. So join us tomorrow, 1 p.m. In the town hall meeting. If you are a Patreon member, the link has already been sent. For the rest of the Lion Pride family, we will come forward again live on Wednesday with a new guest. We'll announce a guest shortly. We have Leonard Howe's daughter. It's going to be the next reasoning to be released, so look out for that. The full episode from Tony Rebel, full episode of Yassa Safari coming down the pipeline. We have a lot of content to share with the IDM. We're not going anywhere. We're just getting started. Why? Because the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion's Voice.
The time has come for Lions to tell our own story. Yes, you're listening to Lion's Voice. I is Dejazmatch hailing from the island of St. Croix. Yeah, I'm bringing to you Rastafari vibes. Can you feel it? Rastafari. Babylon born when Rasta come together. Can you feel it? Rastafari. Because Babylon done when I and I come together. Look how we live together, look how we work together, Oh, Babylon done when Rasta come together. Haile, Rastafari, His Majesty and Empress men and blessed. Yeah man, hailing from St. Croix, Rastafari, I hear you.
Aye.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
Yeah, man. Greetings, Rastafari, Haile Emperor, the King Selassie, the first, the perfect balance, Empress Menin. This is first man for Rastafari Indigenous Village, recognizing, accepting, promoting Lion Voice. Yes, the voice of Rastafari, speaking about Rastafari, educating Rastafari, preserving, protecting Rastafari. Give thanks.
Aye, Rastafari, mighty.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, yeah. Them fully guard up and them quick fi execute, yeah. Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, yeah. The one will laugh, I'm same one of the shooter. Watching them, this is Rasta Jai representing for the Lion Voice Network. This is the time when the lion gets to tell our own story. Haile Selassie.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Greetings, this is Shiloh. The time has come for the lions to tell their own story. See? This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir? Shiloh said that. Are you satisfied? Wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm all alone, still you thought I was telling a lie. This is the lion's voice. Keep it locked, right, sir?
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.